Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Minute on the Mountain. I apologize about the wind. I was going to record this kind of intro and unboxing at home in the kitchen, but I just thought, man, it's nice and sunny. Let's get outside, and I'll do it outdoors, but the wind's kind of working against me, so hopefully the windscreen is helping and it's not too brutal for you guys. We are out today to do a gear review. We're doing a test on a trail camera. A company called SEHMUA, I hope I'm saying that correctly, it's SEHMUA, reached out to me and asked if I would test and do a review video on their 4G cellular trail camera. And so I really appreciate that opportunity. I want to say thank you to them. And this model that I'm going to be reviewing is their RBX H10. So RBX H10 is the model. It's got a waterproof rating of IP66. It's got a built-in microphone and speaker, so it's one of those that when you have the app on, if you want to talk through the app back to the camera, so if you had it set up as a security camera and somebody was on your property, you know, you could talk through the app and say, hey, you're trespassing. You can obviously hear what's going on. It's got the microphone built in the camera. Now I'm putting this camera up today. I'm gonna let it sit here for at least 2 weeks. This is in that general area where I deer hunt and my kids deer hunt, and I've hung some trail cameras here before. I do get cell service here. It's spotty sometimes. Sometimes it makes the app run a little slow, but I'm just going to do the unboxing here, kind of walk through what comes in it, and then we'll go get it hung. I'll show you me hanging it as well. So this is a solar powered one, so let me just reach out a frame here. Now I went ahead and I put the antenna in it. When it comes in the box, this antenna is not connected. I've gone ahead and connected it. So you can see it's pretty compact. It's not a very large camera. It reminds me a lot of the TC02 from VuPeak. Looks very similar. Now that one's not a cellular camera, whereas this one is. So here's the buckles to undo it. Just like your typical trail camera that you would see. The app is the same app that I had for the VC32 from VuPeak, so that was nice. When I pulled the app up, all I had to do was add a new device to it. And again, I'm not really techie, so I appreciate simplicity, and it made it really nice that it uses the same app as the TC32 from VuPeak. So all I had to do was add that device to the app, and it already works. I ran it from home just to test it. So you also get the solar panel. Now the solar panel on this one is not integrated. So this is one that the solar panel comes separate. Again, I prefer that. It's a little more work setting up when it's not integrated. You know, you've got to drill a couple extra holes if you're mounting it to a tree. But I really like it because I can point my trail camera north, which is what I tend to try and do. It eliminates a lot of false positives from the rising and setting of the sun. But obviously I want my solar panel, where I live here in northern Utah, to be facing south to southeast. That's going to give it the most direct sunlight. So I do appreciate that the solar panel is not integrated. It's got your mounting bracket as well for the solar panel. It also comes with a USB to Type-C charger. And they do tell you in the instructions, make sure you fully charge this at home before you go hang it, and then keep it charged with the solar panel. So I did fully charge it at home using the USB Type-C adapter that they sent me. So we're gonna go get it set up. The working temperature range they say on it is -4 degrees to 122 degrees. Now -4 is not that cold in northern Utah. We'll definitely have some nights where it's going to get colder than 4 below zero. I don't know that we'll have any in the next 2 weeks. We're not really forecasted to have real cold weather, but you know, we'll see how the solar panel keeps it charged in cold weather, and we'll see how it functions if it dips down around zero or even colder. So let's go get this hung. Thanks for coming along. All right, we've got the camera set up. We've got the solar panel set up. The solar panel is not aimed exactly where I'd want it to be, but with all this other brush in the way, I'm just not sure that I can get it where I want it to be. So that'll just be the best it can be. And then if that keeps it charged at that angle, then I know for sure if it was facing south, it would do better. This does have the metal buckle on the strap versus the plastic, which is nice. It makes them a little more durable. So I checked the app. It shows that it's online. So we're going to leave this up here now for 2 weeks, and we'll come up and pull it down in 2 weeks. Now, the cool thing about these cellular trail cams is, you know, I'll get notifications as it takes pictures, so I'll know if we're getting any footage of animals or not up here. But let's get everything packed up. I brought a little drill up here so I could kind of make starter holes in these trees. I did bust off one little screw. I just want to, again, try and be as honest as I can on the review. The little screws they sent with this to mount the solar panel, one of them broke off in the tree, so they're pretty cheap. So you may want to use a heavier duty screw when you're mounting yours. Well, that was footage from this RBX H10 trail cam from, I'm going to say SEHMUA. I hope I'm pronouncing that the correct way. If not, I apologize. I've got a lot more footage of that I could show. I just picked some of the closer ones. And I'm just going to kind of walk you guys through the app. So this is what it looks like on my phone before I go into it. And I mentioned earlier, I had another trail camera, the TC32 from VuPeak, that used this same app. So all I had to do is add this new device to this app. And we're going to go into the app just by clicking right here, and that's going to take us into the live view. Now, I don't have great cell service here at my house, so it's going to take a second for that to come up, but there's the live view, and you can tell I'm recording this video at night because that's what you see on the trail camera. Then from here, I can go into the settings, and from the settings, you know, I can change the video length, I can change how sensitive the microphone is, the speaker, the interval in between videos, and I have this set on 10 seconds as of right now, and so it took 10-second videos. I was really impressed with how sensitive the motion sensor is. I have it on medium. I didn't even put it on high. And I had several videos where the deer were running through at 25 yards away, maybe close to 30. I know there were 25 for sure. And it triggered it. It picked it up. So I think that's pretty impressive. I actually had one video of the train on the train tracks setting it off. And if you rewind and look in the background of these videos, you'll see some train tracks. I mean, those train tracks are probably maybe not quite a quarter of a mile from this camera, but pretty close to it. Now, I know that trains go by there almost every day, so not every train triggered it. Maybe it was a reflection off in the sunlight that day. I don't know why, but I was super impressed that that train from almost a quarter mile away would trigger it. Now, if I hit this arrow button to the different days, it'll show me if I have activity from that day. And if you see a check mark next to it, that means I've already downloaded that video to the photo album on my phone. So it's super easy. While the video's playing, there's a little icon on the video. You just press it and it'll automatically download it to the gallery on your phone. The cellular plan for this, I just bought 1 month. So it was $19 for the month. And then there was a very small charge for basically the international charge, because I believe you're being charged out of China. And so I think that was another 35 cents or something. Now, if you're willing to commit to a year, you can get that monthly cellular plan down to $17 and change, but I only did 1 month for the testing of the video. So just my overall thoughts on it. Again, the app's very easy to use. The user's manual on this was very intuitive. I can't say it enough, guys. I'm not very techy. I want simplistic, and I found this to be very simplistic to set it up, to operate it, to check the notifications, to download the images to my phone, etc. I had the microphone set on 78, so it goes from 0 to 100. My only complaint, I don't know if I'd call it a complaint, it doesn't seem like it picked up a lot of sound. I mean, those deer had to come right up to the camera and lick and snort for it to pick up any sound. So I just bumped the microphone to 100, and I'm going to keep this running for several weeks, and we'll see what that does to the level of sound. But as far as the motion sensor, very impressed with how well it picked up. And I think the video quality is solid. You know, I've seen cameras that have a little bit better video quality for sure, but you know, there's some footage I have of deer in the rain, and you can literally see the raindrops on their back. Now they're close. I'll post that on another video down the road. So I think the video footage was, again, good. I think it's solid. My only complaint maybe would just be the microphone didn't seem to pick up a lot of sound, but I didn't have it set to 100. So I turned it up, and we'll see what happens over the course of it. So I'll put a link in the description if you want to get more details on this trail camera, if you want to purchase this trail camera. I want to say thank you again to SEHMUA for sending it to me and giving me the opportunity to test it. I don't use cellular trail cameras for my hunting because most of the places that I would hunt, I don't get cell service. Now, this little area where we deer hunt, I do get cell service. That's where I hung this. But the reality is I'm going to go up and hunt that, whether I'm getting, you know, activity on that trail camera or not. But I see a lot of awesome uses for this camera, whether using it for a game camera, whether using it for a security camera. I really did appreciate the metal buckle on the strap. Now, they do give you a mounting bracket. If you want to mount the camera to a tree or to a post, you can. I just prefer, because I know I'm only going to keep it up there for a couple of weeks to a month, to use the straps. Now, the solar panel, I did mount. So I drilled a couple tiny holes for starters in the tree, and I did mount the solar panel. The camera itself is just on with 2 straps, with 1 strap that goes through both loops, and again, does have a metal buckle. And it's been super windy, guys. We've had a mild winter here in northern Utah, warmer temperatures than probably any winter we've ever experienced since I've lived here. But we've had a ton of wind. And just with those straps, that camera hasn't moved an inch. It's cinched down really well. You know, the deer have bumped into it 2 or 3 times. They've licked it, and it's still right where I placed it. So overall, I thought it performed really well. And check it out. Let me know what you guys think. I'm going to kind of get this stuff cleaned up, and we'll wrap this up with the Minute on the Mountain. One other thing I forgot to mention before I get into the Minute on the Mountain was just the battery life. Again, that solar panel, I don't really have it facing the way I would normally want to face it. We've had a ton of cloudy weather, lots of rain, and it still is at full power. So those solar panels do such a good job. As long as you fully charge it before you take it out there, they do a great job of giving you all the power that you need. All right, Minute on the Mountain comes from Ecclesiastes chapter 1, and really just the whole chapter. And it focuses on, it's the teacher. He's identified as the teacher. We know that Solomon wrote it, but it calls him the teacher in it. And multiple times, almost 40 times in the book, he says that something is meaningless. Either everything is meaningless, you know, work is meaningless, wisdom is meaningless. He uses this word meaningless a ton. It's the Hebrew word havel, and it doesn't mean pointless. I think it can be really easy to miss the meaning behind the book of Ecclesiastes. The word literally means breath or vapor. So he's not saying that it's meaningless in the sense that it's pointless or there's no purpose in life. He's talking about the fact that it's so quick. You know, in the scheme of eternity, this life goes like this. And there's also the idea of like a wisp or smoke, and that if you try to grasp it, if you try to control it, it just disappears on you. And so I want to read this quote. This is from a book that a friend from church gave me because he knew we were going into Ecclesiastes. And I think this kind of hits on the head the point of the book. It says, as a traditioned people, mindful of our inheritances, we live futurally looking for kingdom come. So he's talking about, you know, as believers, we look to what's coming. We know that we're just passing through on this earth, that there's something much better coming, either when Jesus calls us home or when he comes again. But he continues, he says, on the other hand, we always live in the present. Past gifts and future hopes coalesce in us in the present. I can't not be now. The challenge is to faithfully inhabit the present without caving to a presentism in which only now matters. I do think that is the point of the book of Ecclesiastes, and it's really been challenging me because the older I get, the more I am future looking. When I look at all that's going on in the world, the more I just kind of wish Jesus would come back. But we need to be present. We need to live in the present, yes, with an eternal perspective, but God has put us in this time and in this place for a purpose. And one of the main points of the book of Ecclesiastes is, even though we are under the sun, the God that we serve is not. And so although temporal pursuits may be meaningless, because we serve a God who created the sun, who holds everything together, we can find meaning in the everyday mundane tasks, in the everyday frustrations of life. We can find purpose, we can find meaning, we can still have hope, we can still have joy. So that's my challenge, is live with an eternal perspective, but be present. Live in the now. Enjoy it. Thank God for it. The teacher says that several times in Ecclesiastes, that it is a gift from God to be able to just be thankful for the food we eat, you know, the drink we drink, and the toil that we labor in. So that's the Minute on the Mountain, guys. Thank you so much for your support. Hope the review on the trail camera was helpful if you're considering purchasing one. God bless you, and we'll see you the next time we're out on the mountain.